Hey! Welcome back to Movie Labs. Today, I'm going to explain you an action, crime film, called Baby Driver. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. At the beginning of the movie, the scene is set in Atlanta, where a bank robbery is about to take place. The robbers, consisting of Buddy, Darling, and Griff, along with their getaway driver, Baby, arrive in a red car and enter the bank while Baby listens to the song. After a short while, they leave the bank and Baby takes the wheel, speeding away while the police give chase. Despite the police's efforts, Baby skillfully navigates through the city's obstacles and makes a daring escape on the highway, passing two other red cars on the way. When they go under a bridge, Baby outsmarts the police and brings the car to a parking garage, where they switch to another vehicle and successfully get away. Later on, Baby goes to get coffee for himself and the crooks. They are meeting with their employer, Doc. Griff asks why Baby is constantly listening to music, to which Doc says it's from an accident he had as a kid that left him with tinnitus, so he uses the music to drown out the humming. Griff messes with Baby to intimidate him, but Baby never flinches. The crooks part ways, and Buddy tells Baby to not answer Doc if he calls him again. Doc tells Baby to ignore that. Baby shares a living space with Joseph, a deaf man who uses a wheelchair. Joseph is aware that Baby is involved in some kind of illegal activities, as they communicate through sign language. Baby has a secret stash of money that he keeps hidden under a floorboard in their home. In his free time, Baby creates remixes of recordings from his meetings with Doc, the mastermind behind the bank heist. He keeps a special tape labeled Mom that holds a sentimental value to him. Later on, Baby visits Bo's diner, where he encounters Deborah, a young and attractive waitress who catches his eye while singing a song. During their conversation, Deborah notices Baby's recorder and they exchange a few words. Later on, Baby finds the song that Deborah was singing and listens to it at home, which Joseph notices and realizes that Baby has met someone special. Doc recruits Baby for his next heist, introducing him to a new crew comprising Eddie No-Nose, JD, and Bats. The target of the heist is an armored truck, and while Doc explains the plan, Baby listens to his music. Initially, Bats doubts Baby's abilities, but Baby is able to prove his competence by repeating Doc's plan verbatim. This will be Baby's final job to clear his debt with Doc. The crew prepares for the heist near the armored truck, but JD makes a mistake by getting the wrong masks that Doc specified. While Baby waits in the car with his music, the other three rob the truck. Unfortunately, Bats kills the guard, and they rush back to the car in a state of panic. In an attempt to escape, Baby hits the truck of a Marine who then opens fire on the robbers. Baby drives against a wall to escape, and the Marine chases them on the highway, causing them to get stuck under a truck. Bats has a clear shot at the Marine, but Baby chooses to evade him. Baby manages to escape the Marine by driving off the highway and crashing his truck. And the robbers abandon their car and steal another from a woman with a baby. They finally make it to the parking garage and switch to separate vehicles. Bats confronts Baby, accusing him of purposely making him miss the shot and threatens him with a gun for getting too attached. After the heist, Baby returns to Bo's diner to continue seeing Deborah. They talk about songs with their names, and Baby mentions that there are lots of songs about Baby, while there are also songs called Deborah and Deborah. Baby visits Doc's hideout to collect his share of the money, but only Bats and Eddie are there. Doc then instructs Baby to dispose of the car containing JD's body. Baby takes the car to the junkyard and has a flashback about his childhood. He remembers his close relationship with his mother, who was a singer. Unfortunately, his father was abusive, and they died in a car accident while arguing. Baby starts working as a pizza delivery driver and begins seeing Deborah more often. However, Doc confronts him, threatening to hurt Deborah if he doesn't agree to be his driver for one last job. Baby reluctantly agrees, but he takes Deborah home and they share their first kiss before he leaves to complete the job. Doc takes Baby to the post office to plan their next heist and assigns Baby's nephew, Sam, to go inside with him to avoid suspicion. Sam gathers information about the post office for Baby to relay back to Doc. During their visit, they encounter a kind teller before heading back to Doc's car. Baby reports the details to Doc, who uses them to plan the heist. Afterwards, Baby contacts Deborah and proposes they drive far away together and start a new life. She agrees. Despite not reusing the same team for more than one job, Doc assembles Buddy, Darling, and Bats as his crew, with Baby still serving as the getaway driver. Doc instructs them to acquire weapons from an arms dealer known as the Butcher. On the way to meet the Butcher, Baby pulls over at a convenience store so Bats can quickly run inside. Buddy and Darling get intimate in the backseat, and Darling mentions that Bats gave her a strange look, which annoys Buddy. He asks her if she wants him to kill Bats, but Darling suggests they wait until after the heist. Bats then returns to the car with a box of stolen gum. The crew goes to a warehouse to meet the butcher and his associates to acquire guns. The butcher shows them various types of firearms, including hand grenades. While inspecting a gun box, Bats notices the letters APD and realizes that the butcher and his men are actually cops. In a panic, Bats shoots the butcher, triggering a chaotic shootout. The crew manages to eliminate most of the butcher's men, but Darling gets shot in the arm. They also kill a guy who attempts to escape, and Bats throws a grenade into his car as a final blow. Buddy and Darling criticize Bats for starting the violent altercation, but he defends himself by revealing that their enemies were police officers. During the ride back to Doc's place, Bats demands that Baby stops at Bo's diner. Despite Baby's fear of harm coming to Deborah, Bats forces him to go there. Deborah notices their arrival but senses Baby's anxiety. She takes their order without giving away that she knows Baby, and vice versa. Meanwhile, Buddy and Darling continue to reprimand Bats for his actions. As they prepare to leave, Bats confronts Baby about his connection to Deborah. Baby denies knowing her, but Bats pulls out his gun, prompting Baby to grab his hand to prevent him from doing anything reckless. The crew eventually departs, and Baby gives Deborah the check, her tip, and a note with the message "Road trip 2 a.m." Upon returning to Doc's, the crew admits that something went wrong with the job. Bats reveals that the butcher and his men were actually cops, but Doc was already aware of this due to his connections. Bats fabricates a story that they were fired upon first, which is supported by Buddy and Darling. When asked whether they should proceed with the heist, Baby reluctantly agrees that they should. Later that night, Baby attempts to slip away to meet Deborah at 2 a.m., but he is trailed by Buddy and Bats. When they become suspicious of Baby's behavior, Bats brandishes Baby's recorder and knocks him unconscious. Baby awakens at Doc's table to find Bats and Buddy rifling through his apartment and seizing all of his tapes. Bats is even using Joseph's wheelchair, though he denies having harmed Joseph. Doc questions Baby about the tapes, but he is able to prove that they are merely music recordings by playing the tape from the first heist. Meanwhile, Deborah is left waiting for Baby at their rendezvous spot. The following morning, the team heads to the post office to begin the heist. Buddy is responsible for taking Darling hostage while Bats sneaks in through the back. Meanwhile, Baby waits in the getaway car and spots the teller he met the day before. He signals to her not to raise an alarm, but she returns with a guard. Just then, the robbers return and Bats shoots the guard. The police arrive on the scene, and Bats orders Baby to drive away. When Baby hesitates, Bats threatens him with a shotgun. As Baby drives off, he crashes into a truck with a protruding steel bar, which impales Bats. Baby, Buddy, and Darling escape on foot. The police pursue Baby through the city, forcing him to change his appearance and steal various cars to evade them. As he tries to flee, he encounters Buddy and Darling again, but they are trapped by the police. Darling fires at the cops, and they respond by killing her. This enrages Buddy, who retaliates by shooting at the cops while Baby escapes. He even returns an old lady's purse after taking her car. Upon arriving at his apartment, Baby finds Joseph unharmed but on the floor. He quickly gathers some money and takes Joseph to a nursing home, apologizing for failing to keep his promise to protect him. With the police still on his tail, Baby makes a run for it. Desperate to save Deborah, Baby heads to Bo's diner only to find a vengeful Buddy with a gun, blaming him for Darling's death. As a cop enters the diner, Deborah's co-worker distracts Buddy, allowing Baby to shoot him and escape with Deborah. They then steal a car from two men smoking e-cigarettes and make their way to Doc's hideout. Meanwhile, Buddy fatally shoots the cop who had come to check on him. When Baby and Deborah arrive at Doc's, he plans to abandon Baby, but Baby begs for help and offers him the heist's money. Doc agrees and lets Baby escape with Deborah. On their way out, they encounter some of the butcher's men and Doc is shot twice while killing all three men. Buddy arrives in a stolen police car and runs over Doc twice, chasing Baby and Deborah. Baby tries to shoot at Buddy and uses another car to ram into his car, causing it to fall off the edge. Although Buddy survives, he deafens Baby and pursues Deborah with a crowbar. Baby shoots Buddy in the leg, causing him to fall onto the burning car which explodes. After driving away from the city, Deborah plays a recording of Baby's mother singing. As they approach a police barricade, Deborah attempts to evade them, but Baby decides to turn himself in. Baby is put on trial for his involvement in the heists. Witnesses, including Deborah, Joseph, the post office teller, and the victim of the car theft, testify to Baby's character as a decent person who made poor decisions and never intended to harm anyone. Despite this, the judge sentences Baby to 25 years in jail, with a chance of parole after 5 years. While serving his sentence in prison, Miles gets postcards from Deborah, who has discovered his real name. The postcards depict various places they plan to visit together when he is released. In what appears to be a daydream of Miles, Deborah is seen waiting for him. The scene changes from black and white to color, indicating that 5 years have passed and Miles is now a free man. He rushes to Deborah and passionately kisses her. Make sure to subscribe our channel for more videos like this. Thank you and have a nice day.